these are the bad guys. The Christians are always the bad guys. Every time you learn about Christian history, we're always the bad guys. You learn about the Spanish Inquisition, we're lied about what actually took place then because it makes Catholics and Christians look bad. You know, we're told that the Dark Ages, about the Dark Ages and then the Age of Enlightenment, the Dark Ages weren't dark. It was an age of remarkable Christian progress.
So Russell Brand and Candace Owens have a conversation, and Candace Owens released a little bit of this podcast. It's going to be releasing soon, so we'll have more in the near future. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell to see that. Now, Candace Owens is definitely dissing and coming after Ben Shapiro in this and Daily Wire. And she does it in a very smart way. She makes it about Christianity. She makes it about how history, how politics, how they're all lying to us, and how Daily Wire is a byproduct of that. Let's watch.
A remarkable Christian experimentation. And so I am just very passionate now about using my platform to awaken Christians around the world because I believe that when Christians are awakened, a lot of the evils in the world will stop.
It feels to me that perhaps some of the things you are describing, and you're describing a lot of things, Candice, are perhaps because in some ways Christianity, through its various forms of institutionalization, became meshed onto power, whether that's through Roman Catholicism and the establishment of the Vatican, or even the conversion of Constantine. It seems that at the point that power and Christianity melded together, political power, I suppose I mean, that there was a complexity that means, at least now, that we truly are living in an individualistic, materialistic, progressive, and late rational, post-Enlightenment age, that Christianity is sort of in the quagmire with old discarded ideas, somehow replaced with some of the forms of progressivism that you in your previous incarnation focused on quite heavily. And I suppose there's an assumption that Christianity doesn't require any protection, doesn't require any special spaces. I've heard people say, for example, that, like this return to Christianity that seems to be happening culturally, this new intrigue and excitement, a kind of a new awakening, a sort of what might be what precedes a second coming or a rapture, is an attempt by the culture to reboot the last thing that works. True Christianity, Candice, would by its nature be anti-establishment, somehow challenging to people in positions of power and to powerful institutions. It seems that you've embraced this aspect of Christianity, but when you look at the modern political stage with like what's happening in my country, a new centralist, authoritarian, globalist government coming to power with an extraordinary portion of the votes, what's happened in France, a kind of machination and alloying of political groups in order to maintain Macron's centrist, authoritarian, globalist power, that what is required is a kind of inversion, a new radicalism. And yet the only type of radicalism that's sort of discussed is either technological radicalism and advanced citizen management, or maybe Islam. I wonder what you think about the necessity for this new Christian awakening to become politicized, or at least to become a challenge to existing political power.
You'll be able to hear my answer to that when he drops the interview, but here's what I will say. I'm very aware of
Okay. This is where it happens. And comment down below, what's up with Russell Brand? I felt like he was, I don't know, honestly, like, you might be saying about Christian institutions, and I think you're saying a lot of things about Christian institutions that when those I'm like, bro, come on. What are you saying right now?
why I'm being attacked. Obviously, they don't think I'm a Holocaust denier. No more do they believe that I am a flat earther, but they understand that I am talking about Christian concepts. I am talking about Christian history. I'm talking about the fact that Christians were mass murdered across Europe, and that Americans were sold lies about that murder. And so they've taken out of context a clip because what they don't want people to see is the BBC documentary that I went over in that episode, The Savage Peace, learning that German civilians, German Christians were murdered in mass by the Allies. This has been hidden. Most Americans don't know it, and most Americans have been shocked to learn it. And so they want me gone because, then what falls apart, of course, is this entire narrative that we're always fighting the bad guys. Here's what I believe. I believe it is and always has been a holy war. I believe that there are spiritual forces at play that are trying to make Americans atheistic and make Americans believe in nothing other than government, more governance as a solution to everything. And the more I look into history and start examining it through the lens of Christianity, I am shocked by what I discover. Let's talk about World War II. Ready? I
Oh
actually
no.
think that if
Oh no.
I
Oh no. Uh let's talk about World War II, shall we? Oh no. Just YouTube like watching this and just like sweating right now.
were to write a book about America, American involvement in the history of war, in the history of World War II, I would entitle it, Oops, We Accidentally Bombed Christians Again. And the subtitle would be, But it's an accident. It was a total accident, I swear. Or It didn't matter, I swear. Or But we had to do it, I swear. Yeah, unbelievably, when you start looking through the lens of Christianity, you begin to ask yourself a question: how many times can you accidentally bomb a Christian monastery or a Christian cathedral before we're allowed to wonder if maybe, it wasn't an accident at all? If maybe it was an actual strategy? If maybe Christians in the West were propagandized severely by Edward Bernays, as Sigmund Freud's nephew, as we were during World War II, to permit the mass atrocities that were enacted against Christians in the East? I'm just asking a question. And I've been asking those questions for a while now. I'm now just asking them out loud. It began really for me when I was on that charter pilgrimage. And you remember I did that 3-day pilgrimage with Catholics, and we marched to Charter, the Charter Cathedral, that is. It's got a wonderful story. In August of 1944, American forces were approaching Charters, and they believed, because of bad intelligence, that the cathedral's towers and steeples were being used by the enemy. And somebody that was in their ranks said, okay, I actually don't know if this intel is good. They were told that building must be destroyed. There are Nazis in there. But before the bombardment was ordered, Colonel Wellborn Barton Griffith Jr., he's a hero, volunteered himself because he felt so conflicted about that order. He said, I will sneak through the German lines to see if this intel is true or not. And he took another troop along with him, successfully evaded the enemy, climbed the towers of the cathedral, and confirmed that there were no enemies at all. No. So the bombardment order was rescinded. The Charter Cathedral still stands. But to be clear, that is not the story for the majority of the cathedrals that were bombarded.
Shots fired. Shots are being fired. Now, the Israeli Daily Wire is not going to be happy about this. They're not going to be happy about this. They want you to believe everything you've ever heard, all the numbers you've ever heard, all the statistics you've ever heard on World War II, on everything, and that we were the good guys. We had to save our Jewish allies. And the byproduct of that was that Americans died, but Christianity in the West became stronger. Yikes. I don't think that's true. I look at Christianity in the West from 1945 and on, and it's pretty much a shit show in America. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.